Hey everyone, I just want to take this opportunity to discuss my thoughts on the weird route in Deltarune Chapter 2, since the new release is only hours away. I'm as excited as anyone else for it, and just want to give myself some closure on Chapter 2, so I'm making this video. I'll first summarize the entire route, then discuss the implications of its events. For anyone who doesn't know what the weird route is, or just needs a quick reminder, it's an alternate pathway through Deltarune Chapter 2. In this route, the player begins to take more control as we help Noelle get stronger without any regard for her happiness or that of any character. This is crucially only a route and not an ending, as after a certain point, the game purposely covers our tracks and makes a beeline for the normal ending. To initiate the route, there's not much you do apart from a normal playthrough up to a certain point. Provided you've done another playthrough, you can sleep in the bed to skip the introduction, and playing up to the required point takes less than half an hour. Once Noelle is by our side, it doesn't take long to turn things wacky. Noelle makes a few feeble attempts to get us back in course as we turn around and teach her what she's going to be doing for the next hour of gameplay. That's right, we have to go out of our way multiple times to satisfy conditions just for the sake of trauma. But it's fun trauma. And because there's unique dialogue, so as a wise skeleton from a parallel universe once said, because we can, we have to. The game gives us many hints, well, they're more than just hints really, that all we need to do is press a button to make it all go back to normal. To let Chris be who they are again, because we are going the wrong way. Once we make it back to Spamton's shop, which is locked, our girl Noelle is already starting to have her doubts. But we know different. When we walk back, there will be more enemies to freeze, and nothing will stand in our way. That's why during our time on this path there will be no puzzles, no stopping traffic lights, no queen, just the same rhythmic pattern. Defend, ice shock. There's nothing fun about it, nothing to chuckle at. Just moving through the area doing the same thing over and over and over. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Just like Undertale's genocide route, it's supposed to be less fun to be the bad guy, but it's all worth it in the end. We just have to get stronger first. Defend, ice shock. We eventually meet a ring salesman who helps us complete the route by selling us a freeze ring. But remember, we're freezing everyone here, and he's trying to scam us anyway. We meet Spamton in a dumpster. He tells us 4 freezes left before we can get an upgrade. We're showing Noelle how much her work getting stronger means, since after freezing a few more we can upgrade our ring. On the way, we force Noelle to skip the puzzle since we don't have time for such frivolities. It's a thorn ring now, but pain is just a catalyst for strength. Our time with Noelle is coming to a close, but first there's just one final task. This simple Birdly fight, normally just a regular mini-boss encounter, now the culmination of our work. Because our choices have to matter. Snowgrave, 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 Snowgrave. We meet up with the normal crew and traverse a Spamtonified mansion. The portraits are replaced and the puzzles switch for Pippus. I definitely didn't die killing Task Manager. Overall, just an abridged, sped up version of this section. The normal final boss is skipped, but still has the same resolution of Queen realizing the error of her ways. Now it's time for the only fun you get to have. Chris has to battle Neo alone this time, but I did beat it first try. I've said it in all my Deltarune videos, but it really is easier than I remember. The bullet patterns are fun and make great use of the yellow soul color. When you make it to the end, nobody is strong enough to come to your aid. Except one. And when we get home, everything's back to normal. Except Birdly is in a pretty deep slumber. But the chapter's finished regularly. Okay, there's much to discuss on the topic of the weird route. The most glaringly obvious to me is the game always returns back to normal. Whenever we proceed on the weird route, we're quick to be told that somebody else progressed the story. Chris doesn't need Thrash because Ralsei shouted out, hey, the world's gonna end, faster than normal. Susie and Ralsei literally followed the exact same path they would in the regular game when not with Chris. Even though Chris skips many scenes with Noelle, they find a convenient manhole to meet the party at the normal rendezvous. Defeating Spamton Neo just destroys the Dark Fountain exactly as normal. And Noelle believes it was all a dream just the same. Will this affect her in later chapters, or will she hide her trauma and behave exactly the same? I'm sure a lot of analysis is going to be done on the dialogue in Chapter 3 to discover if there are any differences between continuing a normal and weird file. The only thing that hasn't been corrected yet is Birdley. We don't know what his situation is. Will he wake up tomorrow like everything's fine? If not, what will steer us back on course to reach Deltarune's one ending? The next main thing about the weird route is the whole everything fun is gone. Even more than in Undertale Genocide, this is emphasized. Deltarune normally contains many comedic and entertaining moments, puzzles, and interactions, and that's what makes it special, right? But now enemies run away from us, traffic ceases. We don't see Queen once after initiating the route while not in the presence of Susie and Rouse. I feel led to assume that the two of them alone successfully progressed the chapter without Chris's help, further cementing the theme that our choices are truly influencing nothing. I hope the weird route comes back into play and has some sort of culmination that will only occur if you've done every weird route on the same file. I want subtle differences to discover if we continue from the weird route. Or who knows, maybe some major ones too. The more I think about it, it's quite odd to make predictions and think about all this when we'll get answers in just a couple days. But that's what Deltarune fans have been doing for 4 years, and honestly, I'm glad I'm late to the party. I first played Deltarune just 2 years ago. Regardless, if you made it this far in the video, you too must be dying to experience the next chapters and learn where this story's going. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for Deltarune Chapter 3 this weekend, as long as I don't procrastinate.